Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss the poem Aligarh written by Aravind, Krishna, Mehrotra. Let's read an introduction about the poet. Aravind Krishna Mehrotra is an Indian poet, anthologist, literary critic and translator. Mehrotra was born in Lahore in 1947. He has published 6 collections of poetry in English and 2 of translation, a volume of Prakriti love poems, The Absent Traveller and Songs of Kabir. His Oxford India anthology of 12 modern Indian poets has been very influential. He has edited several books including History of Indian Literature in English and collected poems in English by Aaron Kolatkar. His collection of essays, Partial Recall, Essays on Literature and Literary History, was published in 2012. A second book of essays, Translating the Indian Past in 2019. Mehrotra was nominated for the post of Professor of Poetry at the University of Oxford in 2009. Mehrotra has translated more than 200 literary works from ancient Prakrit language and from Hindi, Bengali and Gujarati. So, Mehrotra was born in Lahore in 1947. He is a poet, critic, translator and anthologist. He is notable for his translation. He has translated more than 200 literary works from Prakrit, Hindi, Bengali and Gujarati. This particular poem Aligarh contains some elements of surrealism and magical realism. So let's see what's meant by surrealism. Surrealist literature is a style of writing that combines reality and imagination to create bizarre stories. Surrealism aims to challenge the conscious and unconscious mind by creating works that are full of juxtapositions. Characteristics of surrealist literature. First one is juxtaposition. The combination of elements that are seemingly unrelated or incongruous. Number 2, subconscious mind. The expression of the subconscious mind through writing. Number 3, unpredictability. The use of chance, randomness and unpredictability. Number 4, liberation of thought. The liberation of thought and language. So, the primary feature of the surrealist literature is its use of juxtaposition. It combines reality and imagination. Magical realism. Magical realism is a style of writing and art that blends realistic elements with magical ones. It often blurs the lines between reality and fantasy. Characteristics. Magic. Magic is part of the story's environment and is not the focus of the story. Realism. The story is set in the real world and focuses on common everyday phenomena. Conflict. The reader is drawn between different ideas of reality. Time. Time is both history and the timeless. Space. Space is often challenged. Identity. Identity is sometimes broken down. So, magical realism also blends realistic elements with magical elements. The reader may often confused with reality and fantasy. These two techniques are used in the poem Aligarh. Let's go to the poem. Aligarh. At the railway station, I asked if there is a train to where you are. I am told there is one, but it has left already. So has tomorrow's and the day after's. Somewhere in the trees, painted in degrees of green, the morning paint still wet, a magpie robin sets up its musical kit. You hear it in your garden, I in mine. At night, like a colicky child, our old bones tired, desire keeps up awake. Put it to sleep if you can, I will do the same. And for now, let's forget the railway station. Parking is not easy here, easy there. The trains keep to no time. Let's go to the line by line analysis. Aligarh by Aravind Krishna Mehrotra is a poem that explores themes of longing, missed connections, and the passage of time, set in the Indian city of Aligarh, with a focus on the speaker's yearning for a loved one who seems perpetually out of reach, even as they share a sense of shared space and memories, despite the physical distance and the inability to fully express their desires. First line, At the railway station, I ask if there is a train to where you are. The poem opens with the speaker's attempt to physically connect with their beloved, but the train, symbolizing the means to reach them, is always leaving, signifying the missed opportunities and elusiveness of their love. The very opening of the poem itself is surrealist. The setting is a railway station. Maybe it's Aligarh. Aligarh is a city in Uttar Pradesh. The speaker asks another one if there is a train to where you are. The question itself is absurd. The phrase a train to where you are is an irrational one. A contradiction is seen in the question. In this context, Aligarh does not represent any particular place. It can be anywhere or nowhere. Second line, I am told there is one but it has left already, so has tomorrow's and the day after's. This line further emphasizes the feeling of being too late, as the train has already departed and even the future trains seem to be slipping away. The person is told that there is one train which would definitely take him to where he is. But the problem is, the train has already left the station. He continues that the train tomorrow's and the day after's has already gone. The contradiction became more complex in this line. There we can see a juxtaposition. There is a blending of real and the unreal. Then the image shifts to nature. Next, somewhere in the trees, painted in degrees of green, the morning paint still wet, a magpie robin sets up its musical kit. The imagery of the natural world, particularly the bird song, represents the beauty and fleeting nature of life, mirroring the speaker's desire to capture the essence of their love. The person suddenly notices a magpie robin setting up its musical kit. It sits somewhere in the trees. The trees appear painted in degrees of green. The leaves of the trees also appear in myriad shades of green. Here we can sense that there is unity in diversity and diversity in unity. Here we can see some elements of magical realism. The magpie is known for its beautiful songs. Next line, you hear it in your garden, I in mine. This line suggests a shared experience of the natural world, but from separate perspectives, highlighting the physical distance between the lovers while still experiencing a sense of connection. The persona then addresses the reader and says that you hear the music of the magpie in your garden, and I in mine. Thus, the music can be heard in anywhere. In this line, the speaker means that everybody in the world experiences the natural world, but from separate perspectives. The same thing can be experienced from different places. Persona means that even though the lovers can be separated physically, they could experience a sense of connection. Next line, at night, like a colicky child, our old bones tired, desire keeps up awake. As the day fades, the speaker's longing intensifies despite their aging bodies, signifying the persistent nature of their desire. Here, the persona says that at night our old bones feel tired, but still our desires keep us awake. Here also we could see the juxtaposition of the image of the weak and the strong. He equates old bones with the image of a child. There we could see the contrast between frail bodies and burning desire. This contrast is quite powerful. By using surrealist imagery, the poet tries to stretch the boundaries. He tries to free the mind and make the readers think. Next, put it to sleep if you can. I will do the same. And for now, let's forget the railway station. The poem ends with a resigned acceptance of the situation, acknowledging the impossibility of fully bridging the gap while still holding on to the faint hope of connection. The persona asks the reader to extinguish the fire of desire, and he continues that he will also do the same. He says, for the time being, let us forget the railway station. Walking is not easy there. He adds, the trains keep to no time. While reading this particular poem, this poem lifts the reader to a level of spacelessness and timelessness. Let's conclude. Overall, Aligarh captures a melancholic and introspective tone where the speaker grapples with the bittersweet reality of unfulfilled love, echoing the themes of separation and longing through the imagery of a train journey and the natural landscape. The poem has an introspective tone. It gives the reality of an unfulfilled love. The poem echoes the themes of separation and longing, using the imagery of a train journey and the natural landscape. It's clear from the poem that the poem rejects the idea of absolute meaning. It's full of randomness and disorder. The structure of the poem is chaotic and seemingly meaningless. It indicates the chaotic shapelessness of the world. We cannot find a specific pattern or a definite purpose in this poem. The poem can be interpreted properly by analyzing it with the help of the parameters of postmodernism. Moreover, we have to apply the techniques of surrealism and magical realism to get some positive results and to understand its meaning. Hope you understood the poem. Thank you.